I'm David G, Sheshnag Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? Sheshnag.com. This video is about Tantra. Oh my god. Let's talk about Tantra. It's taken a bit out of context these days. No disrespect to getting taken out of context. It might as well come into the culture through sex, because like yoga, it has to be a sneaky bastard to come into the greedy narcissistic culture to be able to be endorsed. Actually, the word Tantra means expansion of consciousness. It's a genitive tat purusha. Tan meaning consciousness, and tra meaning expansion of. How do you expand your consciousness? What's the relevance of the tantric shastras? Well, God realization or spirituality used to mainly be contained within the monastic, whatever that word is, the orders that used to renounce life and seek God or seek the non-dual. So the Vedas themselves are written about the non-dual. They are aiming for the experience of this. The experience of this comes under the word, according to Sanskrit, Advaita, non-dual. So the Vedas are there, but the lifestyle relative to this culture doesn't really endorse renunciation of the experience of life. There are not many people that are craving to go into the, what do you call those things, monasteries. There's the word mon, right? Because they're chasing the one. They're not chasing the dual. They're not called dualistries, are they? They're called monasteries because you're looking for the one. You're trying to experience the dimension of bliss. You're trying to merge with the Godhead by renouncing all human tendencies and all experiences within the dualistic parameters of life. Tantra, oh my God, the Tantra Shastras come into it because they endorse the experience of dualism, the dualistic experiences of life, so you can, as a human, come to know the underlying substratum of creation, the governing intelligence behind all of life, which is seen as the Godhead. In the Tantric philosophy, it is known as Shiva. The dualistic experience of creation is known as Shakti. Everything here whoops, get rid of that bit. Everything in the dualistic dimensions of life allow you to expand your consciousness, understand yourself. It moves from the physical dimensions, your understanding, into the subtle dimensions over a period of time, evolution, your own perception. At the moment we're on the verge, collectively, as humankind moves into their heart and expresses love for the fellow human being and the planet, we're moving away from the physical understanding of our life into a more rational, a more intuitive, and a more respectful experience energetically for the human framework and all of the people on the planet and all of the beings on the planet. That's Tantra. That's why it's making a comeback, as well as the sacred language of Devanagari, which all these words are derived from, because they come from the Sanskrit texts. They come from the culture that used to speak Sanskrit. They come from all the books written in Sanskrit. So Tantra is really the experience of life, the dualistic experience of life, so you can eventually become aware of the consciousness that governs it in the form of Shiva, or realistically Paramatma, which stems from the womb of creation, which is a video for another day. But basically, you're experiencing both the physical, which is called creation, Shakti, and the non-physical, consciousness, non-manifest, your own higher self, which could be called Shiva, and the interplay of Shiva and Shakti, when uniting, become the direct perception of the underlying substratum behind all of existence, which will result in the experience of Samadhi. Tantra can be when you gaze at a flower and you're so focused on the flower that you can appreciate how it's created. But it's a part of life, it's a part of a dualistic experience. The flower's there, you're here. Without the flower, you wouldn't be able to experience it. It's based in the world of relativity, and everything that you experience is divine in some way, allows you the opportunity to be able to see through that experience, to be able to experience the divine, which coordinates all of life relative to your own karma. That's what Tantra really is. It is tied in to the channel of the Kundalini, the Sushumna. The sexual energy is very closely tied into the perception of the subtle dimensions. But Tantra is not sex. Tantra is the expansion of your own consciousness. Thankfully, life has provided us with the Shastras and the Tantra Shastras, which allow us to embrace all aspects of being human. They don't ever encourage aversion or avoidance of something painful. They don't encourage endorsement of pleasures. They simply see them all as relative and opposing yet complementary on a spectrum of experience, to be understood, embraced and appreciated, so that the coordinating intelligence, such as the divine, which allows itself to express itself through pure consciousness, to be perceived. Sometimes the best way to experience this is during the orgasm. It's not the only way to experience it, but during orgasm you lose yourself. That's why it's one of the easiest ways and one of the most over-endorsed ways to experience and expand your own consciousness. But Tantra isn't that. Tantra, and the goal of Tantra, is to awaken the Kundalini. When that happens, you will lose everything that you are and merge with the Great Being. Probably something that you never really understood or perceived anyway. But that's what it's to do with. Tantra is based on expanding your consciousness relative to the path of Kundalini. Big words. They're all making a comeback. I love it. This is my time. Om Namah Shivaya. Hara Hara Mahadev. Hope that makes some sense. The next video, Shiva and Shakti within, maybe. Enjoy creation, to experience consciousness, to become aware of the underlying substratum of existence, Sheshnag, that allows the experience to happen without judgment. Peace. Share the world. Sheshnag.com. Sheshnag Mandir. Om Namah Shivaya.